Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, my friends? Hope you're doing tremendous, sensational, and wonderful. It is indeed Friday. Oh man, I love it. Hope you're all doing incredible. Let's see. Zane trying to log into the afternoon room. Afternoon room is happening right now. Perfect. Send that message out. Let's see what we got. Nizo here, Arabia's here, Parwan's here, Chad's here, Grand's here, Glenn's here. Glenn's is ready to be impressed. I like it. Let the impressing happen. Dan, Mr. Rovner is in the building. I love it. Welcome, bud. Glad you are in the building. Let's look at the broader markets because we have been trading for the last 5 days together. This is the last day of the open house. My boy Chase says he's officially a member and it feels good. Doesn't it? Feels good, man, to take that little leap and invest in yourself and surround yourself with incredible people who only want the best for you and want to grow with you. I love it. Clive says, just got back from 2 hours of pond skating with my 3-year-old grandson. Day trading and time with the family, priceless. Man, that's incredible. Pond skating, I have yet to do that. Never done any pond skating. What did happen today is I did get a ton of messages and texts about traders closing out some swing trades today. We will talk about those, but it makes sense to me. It is Friday. Markets are closed for the next 2 days. The SPY has had a decent little run, and we closed with a doji. So if you were in some bullish swing trades from this week, right, we talked about a lot of them. My buddy Bob Vincent closed some off. My buddy Joel up there in Montreal closed some off. I had Frank, Lisa, and Meredith exit the QTT swing trade, and looks pretty nice. So we will kind of see what happens, and we'll kind of figure out what we do. So going to figure out what we do, and going to pull up. Joe is talking about ticker symbol NIO, so we can go look at NIO a little bit later today. We can go a little bit long today, I'm sure, but let's just review the markets. SPY, almost a perfect doji, high wave candle, looks good. Again, very nice little pennant pattern that we just broke out of. So a lot of people are asking me, can we go higher? And the answer is yes. I mean, we got a really good break out of here. So realistically, we could just hang out here for a few days and continue higher and then bounce, and that's certainly possible. So Monday, Tuesday, we could slow down a little bit and then continue higher Wednesday, Thursday. Of course, also this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this wave 5 could get like a small ABC correction, trade down to here, and then we start a little bounce process. But however or whatever we're looking at this point, I'm still going to be all about buying the dip at this particular point in time in the market. Here's the Qs, and the Qs today also closing down with an inside candle. You had a really good day yesterday, a great gap, a great move. It was really Amazon leading the Qs down some today. The other thing worth noting is this is a retest gap on the Qs right here on the hourly chart. So if I was looking at getting in bullish on the Qs, I mean, again, you have this really great gap on the 30th, inside day candle, and just a continuation higher. So we talked about it on Tuesday. So that was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, I mean, yeah, if you're playing the Qs, I'd probably just say look to buy a little bit of a dip. This is the previous resistance. right? Old resistance, new support. So 165.56 makes sense that we could dip back into that price potentially sometime Monday, Tuesday. And again, from there, could we continue higher? Yeah. Volume looks good. I mean, I know we're hitting the 100 simple. I realize that. We're just smacking it right, right on the nose. The 100 simple moving average on the Qs. Here's the weekly chart, and you got 6 white candles in a row. So next week could be a little bit of a slower, kind of a choppy week in the markets as we just slow down. We had apparently the best January since 1987 in the markets, and you know it was a fierce rally without question. Here's the Dow Jones, DIA, same thing, 6 white candles in a row, making new highs. And again, I would just use the tops of some of these weekly candles, about 248.59, which tells me that we have at least 2 points to pull back if we're going to, and it makes sense that we do. However, if we don't actually get a nice pullback and a dip buying opportunity, if we just trade sideways for, like I mentioned, Monday, Tuesday, we can easily continue higher. So don't think the market's too overextended, because it's not. We rested for a solid week and some change right here. Not only on the Dow, but just the broader markets in general, we did rest. So we're not extended, quote unquote, by any means, especially with this bearish candle on the Dow. I mean, you get a good gap up and some good numbers, something come out on Monday, open above this candle or close above this candle, and we'll just slowly continue. All right, this hourly chart, this is your bill paying time frame for all my swing traders. Just pull up these hourly charts and stay with the trend until it reverses. And when it reverses, yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of money on the reversal, right? You might get stopped out of some things, depends on how many positions you're in. And once you get stopped out, shake it off, move on, pick another trade, and make it happen. And then today, this is Finance Friday, so here's FAS. And the financials were up 1.6%. Again, look at this hourly trend. Look at that hourly trend. There's a lot of money to be made on this guy, on FAS. Here's the daily chart, and again, we're just slowly creeping. So all the moving averages at this point, today was a big deal because they are crossed bullish. So on the daily chart, we're back above all the moving averages on the daily time frame. So again, I do feel like we could have a pullback at any point in time, and it could just be a one-day drop where you get like this candle looks like this. And I don't know if and when that will happen, but if it does, I will plan on buying that candle. As scary as it will be, I'll look for a spot to pick up a position or two. And again, just see if we bounce. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I'm not entirely sure. But we're gonna go look over some trades that some traders took today. Some traders exit out of some swing trades. And obviously, we did pretty well on Amazon today in the day trading room, so we'll talk about that. A good day overall. Did get stopped out of the trade, so we're going to cover all the trades, but February already starting off really strong, mostly thanks to just one trade, and we will be talking about that momentarily. That one's on the list right here. So let's go ahead and dive in, and I'm going to look at ticker symbol AMD and Advanced Micro Devices. So my buddy Brad says he did buy this covered call back. So he bought back the covered call and he sold another one on AMD. And this put sale that Brad had down here at 16 expired, worthless. Option selling for those traders who have the account size to do it will be something that we're going to do take advantage of a lot in the afternoon rooms. We do a lot of option selling. We have a very high win percentage on our option sales. So it's something it's all about timing and risk size and portion control. But that was a great put sale, Brad, so congrats. We have to keep in mind that this right here was indeed a bullish gap and go on the SPY. Sorry, not on the SPY, on AMD. It was a very nice gap and go, very cute, very pretty, looks gorgeous. I mean, I'm all about that gap, no candle. I'm all about that gap, gap. Just a gorgeous bullish gap and go. Nice move, solid level, gorgeous volume. Today's an inside candle. I had a few traders in the morning room asking me if they're going to short AMD, if AMD was a good short, and the answer was like, no, no, no. Don't look to short AMD, just look to play it long. Whatever time frame you're playing, the answer is long. And I still think that's the case. It's a gorgeous gap. Here's the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, again, you just had a lot of buying right here. We're consolidating, we're resting, but if you look at the hourly chart on the extended hour, non-extended hours, it's just now pulling into the 10. And if you turn the extended hours on, it's coming into the 20. So I would just say AMD. I don't see any reason not to be bullish on this one. Keep your eyes out bullish, either buy a dip or buy a breakout if it continues, because why not? It looks really toasty. Weekly chart, again, similar to the overall market. You have 6 white candles in a row. So it's all still kind of moving together, if you will, just out there in general. But at this particular point, you know, like a little bit of a dip, whatever we get in the market, if it does happen, great. And if not, and we slowly keep creeping up, awesome. So anyway, that's my thoughts on AMD. Nice trading for those who are playing this one. And again, this could be like we talked about, this is an inside day bearish candle. So you're either playing the breakout of today's candle or you're playing the limit buy. You could even have 2 setups, two trades ready to go. This is also one that you could play with options. AMD, very fun to trade with options. Keep it on your list. The trend is bullish. I love that gap. I love the volume. Inside bearish candle today. Let it ride. Morgan Stanley. So here's some MS. Morgan Stanley broke down a little bit today. Broke down. Volume increased a smidge. And you got a decent close. This is a shaved bottom candle. Almost perfect. It's actually a little bit of a 3-cent difference from the close and from the low. But just looking at Morgan Stanley, some of the financials do look a little weak, which could cause, this could be a lead in the market where you get a move and in the financials, and that kind of causes the market to actually retrace a little bit. Financials make up a pretty big part of the SPY. So in this particular situation, you look for most likely a little bit of a retest right here, and then just a continuation lower. Most likely a trade down to about 40 on Morgan Stanley. I'm not going to take that trade personally, for no particular reason other than can't be in everything, but I would watch it just for a little bit of a soft bearish play. Here's the weekly chart, and you got a gorgeous inside week again. So last week was an inside week. This week is an inside week. So if Morgan Stanley does have a really good bullish move next week, then I'm very confident the markets are just going to continue screaming higher, and Morgan Stanley would be a wonderful buying opportunity if it breaks out of this pattern. It just makes sense that it could retest, something like this in the bounce. But long term, could Morgan Stanley be a relatively decent investment? I think so. It's not a very expensive stock. It does pay dividends. It does move pretty volatilely, and this could be one that you could play with a smaller account as well. I just personally don't play big banks. A lot of you will come to know as you trade with me over the next few days, weeks, months, and years. I have like weird, strange idiosyncrasies, and that's one of them. I don't trade big banks. I'll day trade them, but I don't own any. I own the SPY, but I don't own any bank individually. I've traded some smaller banks like First Horizon and Bank of the Ozarks. I'm trying to think of if I've not done any of those. Pinnacle Financial Partners, PNFP, but I've not done Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, any of those. Okay. Anyway, on to the next. Here's WAB. And WAB, this is the one, the Westinghouse air brakes, we were looking at a potential bullish trade on, right? And it still looks good to me. WAB, volume is increasing. Let me just verify when earnings is going to be on this one. WAB. Daily chart. Give me a few quick seconds. So the dividends are on February 7th, according to Thinkorswim. And then earnings are February 21st. This could be a dividend play if anyone wants to consider taking advantage of that. I think we've missed the day to buy it before we get the dividends. But I will keep this one on our list because if it does pay dividends, that means we could probably catch the pullback that occurs on the dividend payment. So something like this, this, and this. But Westinghouse Air Brake, I'm mostly watching this one like I've been talking about over the last few days, purely based on this candle on the 28th of January. Makes that new low, lower shadow, trapping some bulls, good volume, upper shadows on these candles. Volume is increasing on the belt on the bull days. So ticker symbol WAB, if you're playing it, a few different ways to play it, but that would be one particular juncture and approach on Westinghouse. Raytheon, ticker symbol RTN. So RTN, nothing really happening on Raytheon. I kind of like the gap. It did gap up today, technically. Yesterday was a close. You know, it closed at 164, and we did open at 165.99. So we did open up. Here's the 5-minute charts. It kind of ran up early this morning, and then just rolled right back down. I'm just trying to see if there's anything cool on Raytheon. I don't really see much. Looking at the support, I mean, you know, extended hours, if it broke 164.63, that would be a little bit on the bearish side. But what I'd probably be more interested in is going bullish right below that support. So if it traded down and threw in a little bit of a lower shadow and bounced out of there, that could be kind of cool. My girl Lita Roberts says WAB ex dividend is on 2/7. Yes, ma'am, which is next week. It's amazing how quickly February's already here. It's February 1st, and next week's going to be February 7th. Wild child. I love it. So Raytheon, ticker symbol RTN, just chilling. I mean, earnings are out. It did retrace into the moving averages. So yeah, I'd kind of be more inclined to go long if you have a small dip into those supports, and then I'd be buying the dip off of that if anyone's looking at playing ticker symbol RTN. You do have a little bit of an upper shadow on the weekly chart. This is a stock that you can see does have an interesting series of lower highs. So lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So if it does rotate back down, I mean, it could also be a bearish play. And if it gets back down to this support, most likely you'd be looking at going long. And by long, I also mean long like long term, and long as in just bullish on Raytheon. But as far as an official swing trade, I don't see anything that I love on that, so I'll just move on. NTES. NTES. What is this doing? On the daily chart, hanging out. So I think the trader who played NTES bullish got in with this morning star right here. I'm not in on the stock. I'm having a position on it. But it did just break right above the high of that morning star and kind of trade up to a little bit of a resistance. So that could have been a nice little hefty, kind of a cute little R. If you played it and wanted to snag it and you got it and you want to move on, great. Pretty expensive stock, relatively speaking. And here's the weekly chart. What I can say is this does look like a company and a stock that has done something different than the broader market. You can kind of see that it's traded sideways. It double bottomed a while ago, actually, and has just been chopping around, doing its thing, slowly grinding higher. So here's the double bottom on NetEase. or NTES. So there's the double bottom, got some close above the neckline, a few retests. So it just looks like a slow grind higher, which means this is one, if I was going to do something on, I don't personally plan on doing any put sales, but it does pay dividends. So if you're going to sell a put, you could sell a 200 March put, which is 50 points away. That is over earnings, but you could get $1.60 for that put sale, which is almost 1%. Like I said, on a dividend paying stock, this is just a slow bullish grind higher, doing a little bit of something different than the market. I do like that particular put sale. Not going to do it personally because I don't really want to buy any shares of the stock, but just a slow, constant, slow, steady grind higher. Looks nice. Cool. Next on the list, Kellogg's. Daryl says, hey, Jeremy, thanks for the open house this week. My pleasure. Thanks for being here, bud. Pretty sure you're here every day. So thank you, my friend. Let me go look at the monthly chart. Clark says, I know Blake looks at fundamentals somewhat. Do you look at fundamentals or strictly tech? I do fundamentals a lot for longer term trades, yes. If it's a stock that I want to invest in and be in longer term, I will definitely check out fundamentals. Blake looks at a lot of the short float numbers when he's day trading, as well as some other interesting information. But yeah, earnings per share, PE ratios, dividend, how much the dividend yield is, what they're doing, how much cash on hand, debt, all those things are pretty important to know if you're going to get into a longer term position. Absolutely. Kellogg, it seems to me that this is a great spot to go long. Long term should be pretty nice. Graham says, do you send out the links daily for scheduled morning and afternoon updated starting next week for those who joined this week? So the trading room, Graham, is just one link. We're going to be sending those out. You should have already received yours today. If you didn't, email Ashley at reallifetrading.com and she'll send you those links. But yes, you're not going to get them daily. Pretty much you're just going to get one link, and that'll be the link to your room for as long as you're here until the next free week. So we have to change the links over again. So yeah, man, really easy to keep track of. Once you get them once, like you got them, and then you're good to go. If you did not get them today, which you should have, email Ashley at reallifetrading.com and she'll take care of you, my man. Graham says, K. Speaking of K, Kellogg's, long-term support. Over here, you can kind of see like in 2000, it formed a head and shoulders pattern. Now remember, head and shoulders pattern, there's a lot of people think if you get a head and shoulders pattern, it's just going to go to zero. Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, you could get a little bit of a sell-off, but notice Kellogg's, 2000, buying it at 20, right off the 200 simple moving average on the monthly chart. Safe to say Kellogg's has been around for a little bit. And this is most likely not a very exciting stock. I've never owned shares of Kellogg's personally. That doesn't mean anything at all, just simply saying this is probably a good candidate for a drip as well. If anybody is interested in a dividend reinvestment program, Kellogg's, good long-term support. Not going to do anything exciting, but if you have some children, if they like cereal and you want them to invest in a company, plus, I actually do like this daily chart as well. I know earnings are around the corner, and Kellogg's can have some interesting earnings gaps, but I like this move. Thomas says, rule number one in my long-term plan, don't short food. That's a great rule in your long-term plan. I do have a similar, it's not written in my trading plan. I do have a rule, though, in my day trading plan that says don't short food. I have lost Kellogg's, Campbell's, I'm trying to think of it, Dean Foods, ConAgra. I'm trying to think of all the other food companies I've shorted recently, but Kraft, yeah, Kraft, Heinz. So there's a few of those that I try to day trade on a bearish gap and just keep losing. Smuckers. Yeah, if it's like a food processing company, I just don't even touch it. Clive says Whole Foods used to be fun to play. That one was fun. My boy James says Kellogg's pays a 3.82% dividend. It's not bad. Not bad. Chris says, Jeremy, the free week's been awesome. I've picked up on some great info that I hope to integrate on my entries and evaluations. Gorgeous. Loving that. Thanks for being here. And Miss Jones says, thanks for the tip on shorting foods. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool little tip. Especially on a long-term play, I can dig that. Now, again, you can see that Kellogg's, you could have made some decent money being in short, but it would have been kind of tough. Like you'd have had to have just the perfect entries 2 or 3 separate occasions, and it didn't really move that much. So, I don't know. Anyway. I love it. Albert just signed up. Diane says, looking forward to trading with you on Monday. Join the team this afternoon. Let's roll. Thanks, Diane. Albert joined the 4-month package. Thank you, Albert. I truly appreciate that, my friend. Really excited about just trading with you, learning with you. Hedging with options starting next week will be a blast. Oh, man, fired up. The pattern I like on Kellogg's, again, I don't know what it's going to do on earnings, but I like this little double bottom. I actually love the fact that this thing gapped down right here, and then we immediately closed above it within a week. So yesterday's candle, let me zoom in just a little bit. Zoom in, and it closed right above this upper shadow. Right, bearish gap and go. Let me go look and see if I can day trade this, even in hindsight. Let me show you how shorting food companies on day trades have just been so hard. All right, so in hindsight, how would I have realistically played Kellogg's? Yeah, I could have made a little bit of money on that. Here's the support. So here's your low of the day hammer. You know, truly, I probably would have gotten skipped. Knowing my luck, Thomas, on food companies, I would have had a short right here, below the low of that candle, with a stop loss up here. I most likely would have gotten skipped over, and I would have missed an R. It's just such a challenge. Such a fun challenge to trade these companies for day trading. Ruby says, is there a link to sign up in the chat pane? Yep, I can send you one. Let me do that really quick. I'm sorry to keep flipping back and forth, folks, between charting and trading and the sign up stuff, but it's the last day. This is the day that everyone's going to pile in, which is absolutely understandable. Do your best to get in before Monday if you don't mind, because Monday morning usually there's a rush right at market open, and anyway, get a good weekend chat with your traders, your fellow people. So there's Robert Bob's joining, and Graham's already joining. Joanne says she's wearing her RL t-shirt. Wonderful. Chief, what's up, Chief? Okay. So let's go look at this next stock. What is this next stock? It's FedEx. Ticker symbol FDX. And FedEx on the daily chart. So we've been looking at this to just slowly creep a little bit higher. So this was the analysis that we talked about yesterday. So I said, hey, let it pop above, then retest, then continue higher. Slow gap fill on FedEx, most likely. So if I zoom into an hourly chart, again, not saying this trade's going to work, but type in a 3 if that's pretty cool, since we drew that yesterday. Whoo, that's nice. That is not, that is, look at that, magical. I'm on it, baby. So if you're playing FedEx, this is this wave rotation that, okay, at this spot, it's either going to bounce or it won't on Monday. Like, this is it. John says, how much is the morning room only? $219 a month. John, $219. So you might as well do the promo and just save yourself some money and get everything. Clive says, Mr. Squiggle strikes again. The superhero. Yeah. Mr. Anu says, I just joined the monthly. I assume I'll get another permanent link for the daily session. Yep, that is correct. You'll be getting all of your links probably tonight. Hopefully very, very soon. We'll get you all that taken care of. Yeah, that'll absolutely happen. So anyway, the reason this is important on FedEx is because we have the trend, we have the gap, we have the move. If you're looking at playing it, again, I hope it works. I'm just letting you all know that's kind of my analysis. And I'm not expecting it to go far, just up until about the 50 EMA. Once this gap fully gets filled, I will say out loud, I do totally expect this candle to be retraced fully. If not this year, it will get taken out. I don't know how long it's going to take, but that was the most bearish candle that FedEx has ever had ever in a monthly chart. It was the biggest sell-off in 1 month that FedEx has ever had. And moves like that on a dividend-paying blue chip stock most likely will just slowly, ever so quietly creep higher. So my boy Daniel says, how does UPS compare? So UPS had a killer gap and go yesterday. And Brad scored some good gainages on this one. I actually really like this candle. And here's the hourly chart. Miss Jones says, do you use the monthly for long term? Yeah, I really don't look at it that frequently, meaning I don't like pull it up all the time. I will look at the monthly though for long term, absolutely, if I'm really trying to get a good beat on just a big, big perspective on the stock. Great question. So UPS, this is what I would look to do. Again, I would probably have, on a lot of these trades, I'm comfortable to take two. So keep in mind that my overall thought process in the market is we can continue higher. But if we hit a spot in the market where, for whatever reason, the rug just gets pulled out and we just flush lower, we're going to get stopped out on some things, but I will look to get in again. This is kind of like on UPS. I like this setup right here. A $2 stop looks good. And if it just pops, awesome. And if it runs and we need to exit, great. One of my rules in my trading plan is if I have all of my swing trades are profitable at the same time, I will exit. All my swing trades are profitable, especially if it's towards the end of the month. Even though it's not the end of the month yet, obviously, it's just the beginning of the month, I can still exit anytime I need to if all my swings are profitable. So in UPS, something similar, but the reason I was bringing that up is if something like this happens where it trades up, breaks down, stops out, I will, and I do always have a plan B where I look to get it again. I will attempt to play the same stock 4 times on a bounce before I just go, all right, obviously I'm doing something wrong. So I'll try to catch it 4 times. Ruby says, who's teaching the algorithmic class? Myself, I will be there as main instructor, and then my boy David Potvin, who is the leading expert at real life trading for robots and algorithmic trading, will be going through his process and helping us set everything up. It's going to be fun. Daniel says it has a good pennant pattern. It does, yep. And you have a little bit of a high wave candle with an upper shadow. So if you're looking at playing UPS, this $2 stop, entry stop right here looks really cute. I like it. And again, if it doesn't work and just breaks lower, then this limit buy could be a good spot to hop in as well. Albert says, when is the start of option hedging? Is it next week? Yes, sir. I'll be sending out all those links as well. Don't you worry. But that'll be going out to only the subscribers. I want to make sure everyone's getting in, but that's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, Monday. Oh, I'm excited too. Yeah, it's going to be a fun class. 5 classes long. Going to be dope. Okay. That's UPS. That's my analysis on it. Had some traders request Verizon yesterday. And Verizon. This is the daily chart on Verizon. Oh, heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just press pause for a moment and talk about one of my favorite plays, the trap. I'm going to come up with an excellent video on this in the next few weeks. Type in a 3 if you can see it. While the 3s are being typed in, Tim Stout says, I'm in. It only took a year or so. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you being here, buddy. And I do hope that I can amplify your trading and surge your performance synergistically. So here's the trap, the most obvious support of all time. Okay, now notice what's a really fun takeaway is you have a low right here. The low of this candle is 52.84. Then the low of this candle is 52.84 as well. This candle's low is 52.82. Ladies and gentlemen, always be on the lookout. If you're going to play the trap, this is one of the most profitable yet frustrating trades possible because you're either right immediately or you are wrong immediately. If you're a trader who does not care about being wrong and you've overcome that little hurdle, this is a great trade to look for because you're going to be right very quick, very fast, and it's a great reversal pattern. But what I'm looking for is a few bearish candles in a row because those are the short traders, right? And at some point, the short traders are going to buy to cover. But before they buy to cover, what has to happen? A new low has to come in to hit stops. Most companies will teach you, buy after this candle or let it confirm, and then, then you get in here. How about you get in here? Who's getting in down there? That's what we got to figure out. And if you can see this super obvious lower shadow on Verizon, in all full disclosure, I did not take this trade. I didn't see it. I did have a limit order on Verizon at 52 based on that analysis. It almost got filled. Like I was talking about yesterday, I have Verizon and I like to throw in some shares at support just to see if I can get my cell phone bill, halfway paid for or something. It's usually not a big investment. Just take it, just throw it in there and say, okay, cool, let's see what you can do, Verizon. And, if it runs up 3 or 4 points, I'll sell it. And then, oh, cool, I got an extra $90 off of my cell phone bill this month, that kind of thing. But this new low, the low of this candle is 52.40, so that you have to be setting up your entry below that. 52.38, 52.39, 52.37, that's where you're getting in bullish. And if you're going to set a nice comfortable stop, you could do 51.37. You could have a whole $1 stop. You can do a little bit lower. But remember, your goal is to buy as low as possible. Remember, confirmation does not exist. The only confirmation you can get is the trend. What is the trend? And once you know what the trend is, that's really all you have. And from there, someone's buying down there, so it might as well try to be you. Type in a 4 if that's kind of like a new thought for you. Just try to get it as low as possible. Look for those really, really obvious supports. We had this giant lower shadow, big support, a bunch of bearish traders selling into that level, and be the trap. Someone has to be the trap, so it might as well be you. If it's a hedge fund or a bank, someone's getting in down there. Because this is the spot where a bunch of newbies are going in bearish, right? They're like, oh, there's the break of this support. Went from here to here. I'm gonna get into the low, and then it bounces, and then it gets stopped out. And it's just the trap. It's a beautiful, beautiful trade. Everyone's getting stopped out, but if you time it right, you can be that person. So now, if you're like, okay, Newsom, well, how would you trade that now? Same exact thing. So now, if it traded back down, I would use this as the entry, right below this candle, and that's where I would get in with a stop at like 51.5. Tim says the setup works more than you know. I've been on the other end too many times. Yeah, man, and I don't want you to be on that end anymore. The same thing with this, by the way. Flip side. Imagine all the people who went bullish right here. They went bullish right there, right above that upper shadow. And then they got punched right in the face, then trades down, stops them out, and then bounces. It's the trap, folks. Can't enter in an obvious spot in many instances. Okay, GTX, Garrett Motion Incorporated. This looks cute. Don't know what this thing is doing or who it is, but it looks nice. You have a bunch of white candles in a row, and I would look to buy the dip. So if I was playing this particular trade, I would get in around here. So that would kind of be my thought. So if I'm looking at playing GTX, Garrett Motion, I would just like to buy a dip. You have 6 white candles in a row. We just made a new high. So not the time to buy now, right? So I want to buy right here. And if this thing pulls back and snap backs, again, that would be a little bit of a dip buying opportunity and all that kind of good stuff. Joshua says, where can I access the recording? So I emailed out all the recordings all week long. It might be in your email. It could also be in your spam folder. But I'm sure you subscribe to us, Joshua, on YouTube. So simply go to Real Life Trading. Let me go over here. Let me click on channel. I will send you the playlist. Released Trading Floor. So here's the playlist. And this is going to have all of the recordings from all week, which is a lot, by the way. And it's like almost 17 hours worth of recordings from this particular week. So dive in, enjoy. Anyway, that's the thing on GTX. Look to buy the dip around $14.94 and some change. PayPal was kind of an interesting move today. PYPL. PayPal, it did gap down and trade higher. My buddy John had a put sale at 85 that expired worthless today. And that one has gone to options heaven. So at this particular point in time, again, if you got a chance to pick up some PayPal on the dip, congratulations, because that's what we've been talking about all week. All of this resistance over here was just a dip buying opportunity. Nice little trend. Here's the hourly chart on PayPal. And if you're looking at buying the dip on PayPal again, I mean, you probably could get it around 89.39 or something like that. But I would be keeping an eye on PayPal purely bullish. Whatever your analysis is, look for the bulls. Doesn't mean it's going to work, and you could obviously get trapped or something like that could happen. But looking at a good trade on PayPal, I mean, here's your weekly. That's a phenomenal retest. 5 white candles in a row, and then a nice lower shadow that retest. Obviously, we could go lower. Anything is capable on PayPal. My number one thought on this one is if for some reason we close below the low of these 2 candles. If we close below the low of these 2 candles, I would love to pick up some PayPal if it gets down to 75. I won't short it unless it's a day trade between now, there, and there, but I will pick up a share or 7 if it trades down into that location and rock it out from there. Tim says, I made more this week than the monthly cost, and I wasn't able to attend today. I've been attending the free week for over a year and always make money that week. Just joined tonight. Well, hey, man. That's the best testimony I could possibly read. I mean, let's just get better from here. So welcome to the club, my friends. Let's make magic. Woo, I'm pumped. I'm fired up. My 2019 target on PayPal is 111.12. I think it will get there eventually. And I love this bearish high wave candle. Keep bullish eyes on PayPal. Anu says, how do you create the target lines? So the target lines, you mean like physically how do I create them? Or like how do I find the price? How do I find the price? So this is based on a fib. Physically, I use, in TradingView, I use a horizontal ray. So the horizontal ray is what I use in TradingView. And then if you right click on the ray and go into settings, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. So you can do style, you can make the color lines wherever you want. You can write in here whatever you want. You can make the text big, small. I mean, it's really nice, definitely handy. I do like using TradingView a lot. It's just very pretty charting software. Michael says, do you recommend it over Thinkorswim? It just depends on how much experience you have, man. I mean, is it better than Thinkorswim? Hands down, better chart software than Thinkorswim. Obviously, Thinkorswim is better in the fact that you can trade directly from Thinkorswim, but the charting and the social sharing, the chart sharing, the other idea streams, right? So you can track all of your ideas. You can track other people's ideas. You can go in at any point in time and go, let me find this on, give me 1 second. Where is that on my ideas? Publish private ideas, settings. Now I'm gonna look like a toad. I'm trying to figure out where I can access other people's ideas on PayPal. I know it can be done. Oh, it's this button, idea stream. So if I do this and go show all my ideas, show ideas of followed users, show my ideas only, symbols. So you can click on symbols in here and you can get any idea that anyone ever posted. And that's super useful. So again, I mean, it's just a really great social aspect, a lot of sharing. Graham says, how to get the numbers on the moving averages? The numbers on the moving averages, you right click, go to settings, background, indicator values. Make sure that's doing well. So if you have that indicator's value selected, that'll be it. Okay, so PayPal, bullish. Square, ladies and gentlemen. Nice little 6R trade on Square. Oh, there's the blue, here's a little arrow. There it is. All right. So that means, so again, if you follow real life trading, by the way, on TradingView, you can see, and if you have your idea stream turned on, you can see anytime you pull up a chart, the ideas that I posted. It's pretty nifty. So you can see on Square here, I did a covered call, right, which expects it to go higher. And I think that is decently useful and pretty handy. Anyway, so here's what happened on Square. So we did some put sales on Square all throughout here. And we put some shares on Square. We had a $60 put sale. We put some shares on Square on one of these days. I don't remember the exact one. I can hover over it and tell you. 21st. 21st of December, put some shares on Square. And it was a $60 put sale. All right, so buy low, sell high. That was kind of the goal. Wanted to be in the position on Square. And did a $70 covered call today. Ladies and gentlemen, 300 shares at Square, which really is not the biggest investment in the world. 300 shares at 60 is 18 grand. And then selling those today at 70, again, 300 shares is a $3,000 gain or 6 Rs. So nice trade on Square, realistically. Very well done for anyone who took that. There was a few people who took that. That's a good trade. I love trading Square. It's not, again, you don't need an insane amount of money. I mean, 18 grand in a company like Square can move, right? So now what? What do we do on Square now? Well, here's my plan personally. This is what I want to do. You don't have to follow along with me. You certainly can if you want to, but I'm going to do, I'm planning on getting those 300 shares back. So I'm going to do a limit buy at 67.17 for 100. Then I'm going to do 2 separate put sales. I'm going to do one down here and one down here. This one is going to be for March. So this is going to be a March put sale on Square. Because again, remember, just make sure everyone's clear. Do not mind getting put shares of Square. So I'm going to do a 55 March put sale. 55 March put sale. I guess I can just write over Falco's. Let me just do that. So Falco has one for February, which is almost worthless. 55 March, and I'd like to get about 86 cents for that. Again, remember, I do not mind owning shares of Square. I always say that with put sale. It's not going to frustrate me at all. And then the other one I'm going to do will be a put sale here, and this will be for regular February. February 15th at 62. I'll try to get 45 cents on that. And 62. So again, with this particular strategy, what's going to happen is if Square comes down to 67.17, I'll pick up some cheaper than what I sold them for, right? Which is good. And if that happens, great. And then if it comes down and closes below 62 by February 15th, then I'll put another 100. And then I'll have another one put sale down here at 55 to potentially get another 100 shares down here. Not saying that'll happen. It probably won't, realistically. And if it doesn't, I'll make 45 bucks here, 86 bucks there for free, more or less. And then I'll be able to turn around and do a few more. Gene says, when you do put sales, does that mean you're doing an option play? That is absolutely correct. Selling puts. Yep. Jonathan says, how long do I have to sign up for the room? Well, we're going to be technically over in about 20 minutes. There'll be no more room left. So if you want to sign up, just get in before Monday. Tim says, what are the requirements to be able to do put sales? It depends. It depends. If you're doing them in an IRA, you can't do them on margins. They have to be cash secured. Doing naked put sales is the highest option approval level that you can get, Tim. So whatever your broker is, it's either level 3 or level 4, but they're naked puts. So you are literally the quote unquote the riskiest trade possible. Even though I don't think they're risky at all. Personally, it's the same exact risk as buying shares. So that's just kind of my thought. If you time them right, as long as you don't over leverage yourself, they can be nice little just cool additions to your gains for the month. Diane says, you're talking about buying the shares at 67 and then writing short puts. So I'm doing a limit buy at 67.17, yes, and doing short puts. Yep. Great question. So this limit buy is just going to be a good till cancel. Because my plan is I'm trying to get the 300 back. So if I can get them back below 70, then I did a good trade, right? So I'll buy 100 here. And if it just runs to the moon, that's okay. You spend 6,700 bucks for 100 shares, and if it just runs to the moon, that could be a really good trade. And I could do options. Diane, but yes, I'm prepared financially. If it needs to happen, 300 shares on Square is the goal. Yeah, that is the ultimate goal. So again, this is one contract of puts. This is another put contract, and I'm okay if it happens. Thomas says options are all about timing, dude. All about timing. So that was a really good trade, though. I mean, again, let's say this trade works out and, you know, come March, I get put shares and we're down at 52 and I own 300 shares of Square. And then this happens again. Guess who's going to be pretty happy? This guy. Because that is what I want. I want exactly what I just drew on the screen to happen. Let's see if it does. James says, cash secured puts are like buying stock at wholesale prices rather than retail prices. I like the way you think, James. Yep. So again, get real comfortable to put sales, folks. We do a lot of them in this class. We talk tons about put sales and, you know, I guess benefit. SBUX, this is the weekly options newsletter trade set up, and there are a few traders who exited yesterday. The target was 385, and the option on SBUX got up to 350. So if you made 1R, then you are, congratulations. And I'm a little annoyed by this option pricing because it's a $66 put call, and the stock is at 68.11, so it's $2.11 of intrinsic value, and the option is only at 260. So I'm looking at this like, really? You're only baking in, I mean, you're baking in that's it? That's all you're going to give me on this? The whole time value of the option is 51 cents? I was like, that's kind of lame. So in this situation on SBUX, I'm just going to sit back, let it do its thing. I like the overall trend, and it's an inside candle. So if we slowly keep creeping higher and continue higher, then we should be good to go. Josh says, what is an R? Let me send you to my beginner series, Josh, and I will, where's the beginners? Right here. And class numero dos, my friend, class number 2.
Live from
3 seconds. All right, here we go. So there you go, Josh. I'll throw that in the chat pane for you, man. Check out that video, watch it, crush it, enjoy it. Albert says, would you have any ideas to get put option approval? I only have covered calls. So what I would do, Albert, number 1 is practice them. Do some virtually, just so you can see how they work, number 1. And then number 2, just call your broker after you've done. So you just said you signed up with us for 4 months. So contact me in March. Let's chat about it again. Do a few of our put sales virtually. Just practice them, make sure you know how they work. And then at some point, you're going to have to call your broker and just ask for the approval. And that's really it. Because you really, really do want to make sure you're comfortable with them, you understand the risk, you get everything correct, and all that's fine. Ashley says, just in case you want to tell people about buying some swag. Thanks, babes. If anybody wants some RLT shirts, if you don't want to join the trading room, if it's a little too out of your price range, I can appreciate that. But if you still want to snag some shirts just to show your approval and your thanks for the week, I would love it if you do. I don't make any money off of t-shirts, guys. I just like seeing people with RL shirts. All right. So just keep that in mind if you want to do that. Carity says you will lose if the stock goes below your put sale. That is correct. You do begin to lose money if the stock goes below your put sale. But remember, selling a put, your ultimate goal and objective is to get put some shares. That's the goal. That's what you want to occur. So for example, let's say we had a SBUX put sale for February not too long ago. And let's say you did a SBUX put sale down here at 60. And you got paid 35 cents for that put sale. Your dollar cost average at that point would then be $59.65. So if SBUX goes below $59.65, intrinsically, yes, you're losing money. But let's say it trades all the way down and you get put shares at 58. Are you losing money? Absolutely. Right? Because you did a $60 put sale, so you're down $2 a share. But is it better to buy it down there? And the answer was, yeah, it's a great spot to buy. So if you buy it nice and low, buy a good company, what could happen? Gets a little bit of a bounce and hopefully runs higher for you. And that's exactly what I did on Square. You know, when I did the put sale, I got put the shares, the stock was at 52, and I got put the shares at 60, but it was a stock that I liked long-term. I looked at the technical charts. I was fully prepared for that to happen, and all is good. Jonathan says, if you write a naked put, what is typically the buying power effect? It depends on what type of option approval level you have, Jonathan, but you will absolutely get a reduction in buying power for sure. Depends on how many strikes you sell and what stock. If anybody wants to practice it a little bit, there is this naked option margin calculator is super handy. So I'll give you an example, Jonathan, if you're doing naked puts. So Square is at 70, 71. I do an option strike at 55. It's a put, and I get paid 80 cents to do it. One strike price, one contract. The margin on that's going to be like 500 bucks. Yep, so 630 bucks margin on hold, and I'm going to make $80 from the option. So, I mean, you know, not that crazy. This is how most people get in trouble. They have a $20,000 account and they go, oh, cool, well, shoot, this is only $630 a margin. Let me just sell $15,000 worth of options. Don't do that unless you have a lot more money to spend, because you sell, like, what would 15,000, that would be 100 contracts? No, that's a 10. I'm just doing a little bit off. So 10 contracts, yeah, about $5 grand. $6,300 worth of margin. So 10 contracts, that would be 1,000 shares of Square that you would need to be able to come up with $55,000. And you'd only be making $800 from that anyway. So that's when people get in trouble, man, is they just sell a lot more than they're capable of owning. Does that make sense? So, and by the way, I have done that. I have sold many more options than I could buy on a particular position, but it's one of those situations where I'm very, very comfortable with the risk, and I look at the chart and I just don't think it's going to happen. So, you know, you take a little bit of a gamble sometimes. As long as you plan it and you know the game. Jonathan says, what's the penalty if you get put? That's the penalty. You get put shares. That's the penalty. There's no penalty. You just get put shares. CVS, I'm kind of mad at myself on this one. We had, gosh, just talk about a pure trap. Man, I got trapped today on CVS. I always hate getting trapped. So CVS, we had some call options. I wanted to sell them yesterday. I bought the calls at 150. Yesterday we're trading at 190. And could have sold them for $1.90. I truly forgot that yesterday was the last day of the month. I thought it was today. I almost always close out of all of my profitable swing trades the very last day of the month, because bills are due every single month, right? And I thought it was today, didn't close out of CVS, ended up getting stopped out, and then CVS just rallies. So that was lame sauce. Might try it again though on CVS, maybe try another option on it, or maybe I'll just buy some shares. That's the other thing too with options. Again, there's some pros and cons with buying calls. But if I did this with shares, which is always my preference, I'd still be in this trade, and I can move my stop up to here, and I'd be profitable. I could exit right now and lock in a gain. But on options, because of theta, you know, I lost on the trade. So that's the downside of options. There's definitely some downsides. Yeah, I got stopped out of CVS on that trade. So update that in the worksheet. John says, how about selling a 63 put on CVS? I'm pretty sure there's a monthly moving average right here. Let's see, monthly moving average. Maybe there's not. I keep thinking for some reason there is. No, I guess I keep mistaking it with something else. Earnings, just keep in mind, is around the corner. And this has all the signals that if for some reason CVS gaps down below the low of this candle, it will flush. And it will flush hard. So if you do that before earnings on CVS, $63 put sale, I would sell it Monday or Tuesday because today's an up day and you want to sell puts on the down day if preferable. That's the preferable day to sell them. And 63, it looks good. February 15th, you can get about 45 cents. As long as you don't mind owning shares of CVS, I would just do it before earnings. Just because it's a perfect storm. If you did a March one and it does gap down below these lows, it's going to rock. It'll be a really nice gap. Okay, JP Morgan. I'm going to start turning on the speed really quick. JP Morgan, a little bit of a gap up today. Realistically, not much happening with JP Morgan. I mean, it's very sideways right now. The 100 simple is still propping it up a little bit, which is nice. The hourly chart is trading sideways. I would look to just buy as low as I can on JP Morgan. I don't have a trade on it presently, and I don't think there's any real option premium either for an iron condor or anything. So no money up here for bear call spread, no money down here for bull put spread. I don't have anything on JP Morgan, so I'm just going to pass on that. Next on the list is Dropbox, ticker symbol DBX. And Dropbox has been a pretty fun trade. Let me type that in. DBX, so it's been all over the place recently. You had a white candle gapping up yesterday above the 100, and it threw in a nice lower shadow to retest. I like that lower shadow on Dropbox. Again, this is the end of the week, so you have a new weekly candle on Dropbox. It's a little bit of a lower price. I think Dropbox could easily go lower or go higher. It's at that weird spot where I have no idea what it is going to do. But if I was playing Dropbox, I'm probably trying to buy it around $23.75. That was the support today. That's the resistance from this candle. And looking at the daily chart, I like the flash lower. I like the flash into the 10. So really, what would be nice is if you got an inside day candle tomorrow and then we broke higher above the high on that candle, that could be nice as well. That would be cool. Okay, Dropbox done. Next on the list, good old Blue Apron. Doing absolutely jack squat. So Blue Apron is the bane of my existence right now. Had a good gap on earnings, didn't do anything. Had a great gap over here, hasn't gone higher. The moving averages are trying to press this thing up. You know, here's your long-term moving averages on Blue Apron, and you're above the 100 simple. So I guess with my stop being all the way down there at 84, I'll just keep holding this thing and just seeing if it actually ever bounces. I mean, their shares are not going to evaporate. So if you want to look at playing Blue Apron, I mean, this is really, I'm literally bottom fishing. Talking about buying the bounce, I'm trying to buy the dip on Blue Apron to see if it's ever going to actually go higher. Probably won't, but if it does, I'll be poised to make some gains on Blue Apron. Next on the list is UNP. We'll look at UNP, which is Union Pacific, I believe. And Union Pacific, look at the bounce off the 100 on a weekly chart. Wow. I did not trade that, but that is a beautiful bounce. And then check out this inside week bearish candle with a long lower shadow. I love that candle pattern. That really is one of my favies. I'm a big fan of that pattern. I mean, here's kind of another one right here. We get that, again, a nice, relatively decent bullish candle followed by an inside bearish candle with a little bit of a lower shadow. I like it. John says, do you ever look at monthly charts? I've looked at about 20, I think, in this particular class. Yes, sir. So I will definitely pull up a monthly chart if I need to. Usually it's like I was telling Carity, who asked earlier, it's something that I'll look at if I don't look at the stock very often. I just want to see what the very, very big picture time frame is, what it's doing. But we can see Union Pacific, gorgeous trend. Just a really healthy, nice retracement. And at this spot, definitely not buying Union Pacific, not up here. I would wait for a pullback into this gap before I'm doing anything on Union Pacific. This gap on a blue chip stock will fill at some point. So if you're looking at playing on UNP, this gap's not going to remain open for a long time. So wait for that thing to come back down and then buy the dip down there. So we looked at Dropbox earlier. Here is BOX, which I will pull up the monthly chart on this one because of just how sideways it is. So here's the monthly chart on Box. And you can see, I mean, since 2016, we're pretty much right flat of where we were. Now, I do like this little retracement, and I can kind of see a good wave count in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Consolidation, and now we're working on a 1, 2, 3. So if you're looking at playing Box, this is probably a decent spot to start looking at it bullish. Here's the weekly chart. Looks like the whole market, right? A bunch of white candles in a row. And then the daily chart also, I mean, looks nice. You got a really good breakout on the 25th of January. That was the close above all this resistance. And then it's retested a few times. And we've gone a little bit higher. So if I was playing Box, BOX, which I don't have any position in this stock, but if I did, this inside, this retest gap right here is where I would look to buy. 20.38 and some change with a stop at about 19.58. Nice little 90-cent risk, 80-cent risk, and I'll rock it out from there. Ticker symbol MO, which is Altria. I finally started pronouncing that right. Small inside bullish candle after a little bit of a hammer type of candle. This is a stock that had some people ask me. Also, I'll look at a monthly chart on this one because this is a blue chip dividend paying stock, and you've got to like that monthly candle right there. Huge lower shadow, hammer-esque candle off of the 100, and the longer this candle, right, if you get a weekly candle and some bearish candles that close below here and we start popping out of here, there's a lot of people that are going to play Altria for a longer term dividend type of perspective. I'm not going to personally play this one, mostly because I can't be in everything, but you guys get to kind of decide what you want to play, what you like, what your goals are, all that kind of good stuff. Your time frame, timetables, those are really, really important metrics. And here's the weekly chart. Just a massive one white soldier on a weekly. So yeah, ticker symbol NO, starting to look appealing from a chart perspective. Shopify, ticker symbol SHOP, it's up 1.2%, and Shopify is one of my favorite stocks. Big fan of Shopify, and the last time I looked at it, just simply said, guys, if it ever closes above 160.32, go long, because that is the breakout. My quarter two target on Shopify is $200.39. I know earnings is around the corner. This is a stock that numerous traders have done loads of put sales on and made really good money all last year and the year before on Shopify. It's a fun one. It's volatile, pays a good premium. You definitely do not want to sell a put right now on Shopify because it's already too high. You want to do it when it's nice and low. I like this stock. One of my best friends trades this one very frequently, has a lot of shares in his retirement account. It's a good company. I love what they do. And this was one of the stocks that I mentioned in my 2019 webinar that I'm the most bullish on this year. So $200.39, Shopify, thumbs up. Wait, obviously earnings is around the corner, but until then, I mean, this looks like a buy the dip opportunity on pretty much whatever time frame. TWLO, ticker symbol TWLO. My computer's just so sad from working so hard all week. I've been putting that thing to work. TWLO, says, what market pullback? Look at this monster. By the way, another big takeaway for the day, talking about a trap, look at this. IPO low, I love when stocks break their IPO low. Barely breaking an IPO low is like one of my favorite things to get into a trade. Full disclosure, didn't take one single position on TWLO. I did have a buddy, Adam, who made some money off of it. This was definitely a big miss for me, but you can't be in everything, right? It's okay. I can analyze that chart, and there'll be another time I'll catch another trade that does exactly that. Gorgeous accumulation. I love when an IPO low breaks, and this thing just went to the moon, and it's still going to the moon. Very surprised that it's still rocket shipping like it is. Definitely not a buy where it is right now. It's very similar to the market. Buy a pullback if it does pull back, and the charts look strong. Speaking of, this one's not on the list, but let me go look at another stock that just recently broke its IPO low. JD.com. Hi, I'm JD with JD.com. Here's the monthly chart, and I know all the stocks I'm looking at are hindsight right now, and from some of you probably rolling your eyes like, oh, there's anyone who can do that. Dude, here's your chance right here. Look at that IPO low break, brand new low by pennies. JD.com. Third biggest e-commerce company, ready for this, in the world. That's right, they're gigantic. Huge. Massive. Ostentatiously large. Behemothly big. And there's a few people who have a share or two on JD. We've definitely ridden down on this one, and now we're working on hopefully slowly being patient enough to offset some of these, let it trade higher. But anyway, welcome to keep your eyes on that one. It did break that cool low. Big fan of JD. Next on the list, let me throw that one on here. Netflix. Chief says, I love my JD. Yeah, man, you've been playing that one like a fiddle. Netflix. So Netflix, a little bit of an upper shadow today. My buddy Bob, speaking of put sales, Bob has a 255 June put sale on Netflix. And I got a March 385, 390 bear call spread on Netflix. I have no idea what this thing's going to do. I would like it just to trade sideways. I'm really questioning simply when Netflix will fill this gap. This gap right here. I do think Netflix fills this gap. And I'm just going to wait it out. Again, I got a 385, 390 bear call spread. And my goal is if it can chop around and trade sideways, if it breaks down some more, once it fills this gap, I might get into a bull put spread. I like Bob's put sale, but he's been in that one for a while. John says, when you swing trade, you're entering on a 1 hour time frame. That is correct. Yes, sir. So my bud Bob is in on Netflix, or I'm sorry, he was in Netflix on bullish and he got out, locked in a little bit of a gain. He's playing off the hourly chart, just buying off the 50. So I think he got in over here somewhere. And yeah, I mean, the trend on Netflix does look nice. Keep an eye on this lower trend line, folks. I'm not saying it can't break. In fact, I'm saying it probably will break higher. If Netflix does break out of this blue downward trend line, I'm going to get into a bull put spread and buy some calls to protect this guy. I do expect the stock to possibly go up into that spread and then roll over, but Netflix is a powerful little cookie monster. Those shows that just keep cranking out, content is king. 385 short, 390 long on the calls. That is correct. Yep. And those expire in March. So that's a solid 2 months away. Solid. But it's also 45 points away on Netflix, which is a 10% growth between here, which is possible. No question about it. So that blue trend line, ladies and gentlemen, I'm letting you all know now, that thing breaks. I will get into some long positions on a defensive move. Okay, let's talk Amazon. My goal today was to make $189 on the day. And check this out, had some traders snag a really decent gain on Amazon, just selling the options that we were talking about today. So barely squeaked out the $189 for today, just on Amazon, trading nothing but Amazon with all of these spreads. A lot of spreads on Amazon today. It was a bearish gap down. So it was a bearish gap and go, but it is Amazon. And here's the 5-minute chart. And I'll turn the extended hours on. And Carrie, I think you were doing these with me as well. But here's the extended hours. And on the extended hours, I'm actually looking for Amazon to bounce Monday, right? This is the pre-market low. It looks like a trap is going to get put in. Everyone's going to short, and then it's going to bounce. So FYI, I am keeping a very close eye on that on Monday. And if anybody wants to, I know Chief, I know you did some put sales on Amazon before. I might do another spread with you, but I can't do a put sale on Amazon. But if you want to, if you do another one, all I'm saying is let me know. Monday morning, Amazon bear trap, go long. Writing my notes down now. Anyway, so this morning it gapped down. First 5-minute candle was this candle. Ginormous hammer with a little bit of an upper shadow, so you can't be super bearish when that comes into play. And then once it broke above, almost was able to take that long. But when that happened, I hopped into the 1600, 1597 spread for about 55 cents with 10 contracts. It's $550. Stock trades up into the non-extended hour moving averages. So if I turn off the extended hours chart, Amazon pulls right up into the non-extended hours time frame and sold some bear call spreads up there. 1675, 1677.50, February 8th, which is next week, and did some expiring this Friday as well. So in total, about $3 worth of premium on Amazon. Really solid day on some credit spreads. I love option expiration Friday. Always a good day to really hone in your game and play some options. If you are familiar with what to do, you can make some good money on Amazon. So I'll be tallying up my finals today, but today is going to be very close, even with the CVS loss, pretty close to an 8-hour day. Next on the list on Amazon, UGAZ. I got 3 left. UGAZ. UGAZ. So obviously this one gaps every single day, all the time. Very volatile, and you can't go short UGAZ. You have to go long DGAZ. Here's the 5-minute chart, and I turn the extended hours on, and realistically, it just, once it started taking out this support, right, it took out that support intraday, a little bit later in the day, it broke down, and that was it. All that she wants is another shot. That playing UGAZ, oh, that she wants. So from here, I mean, what's natural gas going to do? And that's what you have to ask the question. What is just general UNG? What will natural gas do? And then that's how you're going to be playing UGAZ. So to me, it looks like natural gas is about to make a trap. That's what it looks like to me. So it looks like it's going to come down to the support. You have 3 or 4 bearish candles in a row. This is when all the newbies are going to go bearish, like 23 and some change. And that's probably the time to go long. So you're either going to go long DGAZ or UNG. I'm not personally going to take that trade, but there's a lot of traders out there who do, and that was a nice little move. So should be good to go. And two more. Ticker symbol NIO. NIO on the daily chart traded right to the resistance and started selling off. That was pretty much it. So we talked about that yesterday. Here's the hourly chart. I was like, hey, if you're going to play it bullish, you know, if you're in bullish, just look to, I mean, just trade. Talk about technical analysis not working. Right to the line, sold off, and then had a little bit of a pullback. So from here, we'll see what NIO does. I wish I knew for sure. Very cute, high wave, bullish candle. I would prefer you for NIO to trade down to 603 and then we can buy it again. That's probably what happens. But with this high wave candle, we will absolutely keep this one on our watch list and see if we can make some good gains off of NIO. And last but not least, my buddy Clark Williams is in CHK. CHK is just chilling. Nice little consolidation, hanging out, trading sideways, a little bit of bearish volume. So Clark, if at any point in time you can get a buy, some buying volume come in, if you get a good candle, specifically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that pops out of here bullish, hold on to those calls because that would be a really good move. I will make sure I put that on the list for next week on Energy Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the free week. Open house is done. Chief says, sign up, sign up, sign up. Does anyone have any questions before we go? I will give anyone here 3.5 minutes. I'm closing down exactly at 5:30 my time. Arabia said it's been real. Yes, it has. Michael says, see you Monday. Jonathan says, what is the code? The code to sign up. Let me send you the code. Jonathan, where'd you go? Here's the code, Jonathan, in the chat pane. I'll also send it to you just directly so you have it twice. Parwan says, thank you for the free week. My pleasure. Joanne says, thank you. I'll see you Monday. Yes, Monday will be great. Kimberly Stewart says, thank you. I really enjoyed it. Absolutely. Thomas says, who do you have in the game? I'm the worst sports bet player of all time. I think the Patriots are favored to win, which means that the Rams probably will win. Although I want the Patriots to win, and that makes the most sense to me. Patriots win. Tom Brady retires. This is his last year. That's my thoughts. Jim says, do we need any special platform to day trade or just follow your screen? Great question, Jim. I mean, you're definitely going to need a broker of some sort to day trade, without question. If you don't have a broker, I would suggest getting Interactive Brokers, interactivebrokers.com, or Thinkorswim. One of those two. If you don't have any broker at all, you're definitely going to want to use a broker so you can interact with the markets, place your buy and sells, things like that. David West says, it's been a great learning experience. Thank you. My pleasure. Leonardo says, grazie. You're welcome, bud. Miss Jones says, since I'm a new trader that wants to day trade options, would it be better to wait on the trading room? I'm going to say no. Don't wait. Get in, even if it's just for 1 month. Learn your face off, study until your arms get sore. I will send you more videos on day trading options than you can handle. Just pop in, try it out for a month. Let's learn some stuff together. Because remember, you can interact with me directly on Slack. Not that that's the main selling point or anything, but if at any point in time you have a question, you can just message me directly right here. Tons of people do it all the time, and I'd be happy to answer, kind of directly. Joanne says, how to sign in on Monday. We'll be emailing you all of the links. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Jonathan says, I want the 4-month special. 4-month special for Jonathan. It is. And if anybody needs any additional information, again, you can always email me. But let me send Jonathan that 4-month code. 4-month code's a really good price. $6.95 for 4 months. It's pretty solid. Send this to Jonathan really quick. Here you go, Jonathan. There it is. Arabia says, definitely don't wait. Trust me. I do. Jay Leonard says, how do we get a free t-shirt? I don't know. Let me know. We'll see. Email me. Maybe we can figure something out. Chase said, the room is not a contract, correct? That is correct. Cancel at any time. Jack says Tastywork is a deep discount broker. Yep, tastyworks.com is also a decent broker. I do agree on that. They're not too bad. They don't have OCO orders yet, so that's kind of annoying, but it's not bad. Joe says, we'll be able to learn the technical how to say perform a covered call. Of course. That's going to be in hedging with options. Starting next week, we're going to be talking about the covered call. Jerry says, is the robot additional cost of the monthly? No, sir. It is included in the cost. That will be a program that we start in March. So it's not additional cost. It comes with the monthly room. Wonderful question, Mr. Jerry Davis. Folks, it's been a real wonderful experience. Thank you for trading with me this week. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Mr. Hung Galao says, if I sign up with a monthly deal, the next month rooms will go back to the original price, or it's still $189. It stays $189 forever. As long as you are willing to be a participant of real life trading, you can keep that $189 spot special. Great news, right? So it doesn't go up. That's your price. You lock it in. Monday afternoon, all of these prices will go up by 3 times. They will triple. Not exaggerating. Get it, save some money. Because what we're going to do between now and the next free week is just trade until our arms are tired, and we're going to make tons of money. It's going to be a wonderful time. Do it. I'll see you then. David Johnson says, thanks for your time. I just signed up. David, so pumped to trade with you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Team from around the world, you're amazing. Until next time, love life, live life.